Well, there you two are, you two shackalackers. Hey, Magoo, Cleo, how y'all doing this afternoon? There, my baby. I've been missing you today. Are the kitties doing good? And finally found out where they were, huh? Thankfully, Miss Davis let us know, huh? And they're fine and well. We're so happy to hear that, aren't we, Cleo? Yep, you get done nursing. We're going to get you all fixed back up again, okay? Yep, we are. Oh, and there's the Magooster, my faithful sidekick and gardening companion. And he's been there all day with me again today. But he's catching an afternoon snack. He's put in a hard day, folks. Yep. He's been working with Papa. Well, mostly supervising. But he's been doing a fine job of that. So, I know I didn't get to see y'all yesterday, but the old man just let time slip by. And that happens sometimes. Let's take a seat on the old front porch. And we'll get going. So there you are, friends and family. And we're back. And as you can see, we're up on the front porch with Cleo and Magoo, which are catching a little snack there before we head on out and do the video. You know, Magoo's got to get powered up, get his makeup on, fluff up his fur, get ready to be, you know, one of the stars of the video. Because it's not Mr. Tom's star. Just talk to Magoo. He'll tell you. He's the man. He's a star. Aren't you, Magoo? And like I told you, that's what they're doing. Cleo and Magoo are cleaning each other up, getting ready for all of you out there. So what are we going to be doing today? Well, this video is going to be primarily about gardening. And yep, I don't got a lot going on, just got a little. All of y'all know why. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk from area to area, and we're going to go over a few things today. Because I got some friends out there, and many of you, that have garden issues. And some of you are getting frustrated, starting to question yourself why you're even doing it. Well, y'all know why. I want you to do it, and I hope you'll understand why. It's to gain the experience, the knowledge, and to learn. Because things could go south with this virus. And what you're learning now, whether through books, Google, or even Mr. Tom and others, will come in handy one day. If not here real soon, sometime later in the future. So that's why I do what I do. I try to teach, try to share my experiences, my knowledge, and my issues that I've come across in 54 years of doing gardening. And I'll be the first to say, not every year has been a good one. Some years better than others. And that's just gardening, sort of, just as is life. So, I'm going to get my old butt off the porch. I'm sure the kitty crew here, unless they're going to take their afternoon nap, will probably trail along. So if you don't mind taking a walkabout and talking with me, let's get this on the road. Guys, Cleo, Magoo, I know it's 2 in the afternoon. It's siesta time now? Did I miss the memo or email? Well, I can't say as I blame you. I worked you pretty hard today. Cleo's about out. I don't know if you can see it. Magoo, he's out. Yep, he heard his name. Oh well. Let's head it on. And the first thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about my blueberries here. You know, I'm real proud of them. They just all loaded up with berries, as y'all can see. They're just everywhere, looking fine. But the blueberry has some issues, and I'm going to show them to you right here. And maybe you can see them. You see those leaves that are yellow with the green veins? See those? And there's more. And not all of them are so pale yellow with green veins. And it's on every plant. Some worse than others. See right here? Yep. And we'll come down on here. And it might not be on all the plant. Just might be on sections. Now, what you got to understand. Yellowing leaves, whether it's on blueberries, corn, beans, whatever, can be for various reasons. And that's why you need to be familiar with your plants and their individual needs and that. Now, the first thing that can cause yellowing of leaves is excessive water. And this would be true, especially for a good friend of mine down there in Louisiana. Boy, Regan down there, he's been having the excessive water. No doubt about that. But that's not the problem here. Now, if I had been having excessive rainfall, which y'all know I haven't, then it could lead to the problem we're going to discuss. But that's not been the case. Now, it did rain last night. And it rained to medium to sometimes hard for a couple hours. And I was extremely thankful because I have not watered again today. That's 2 whole days in a row. And God knows I'm thankful for that. But let me show you right here. You can see nice dark green leaves on this blueberry plant. And then on the same plant, you see the yellow leaves with the green veins. And here's where learning how the different leaves look. Not all yellow leaves are the same. And these are yellow with green leaves, green veins, excuse me, instead of the whole leaf being yellow. Now, what that is telling us, it could be one of two things, or it could be a combination of the both. One, it could be an iron deficiency, okay? Or it can be a pH problem. You see, blueberries love acidic soil, anywhere from a pH of 4.0 to no higher than 5.5. But as the soil pH gets above 5.5, it does one thing. It locks out the iron in the soil. Therefore, you can still have plenty of iron, which is fairly abundant in most soils. You can have plenty in the soil, but see, the plant can't utilize it because the pH is too high. So we have to check a few things to see exactly whether it's a true iron deficiency or it's a pH problem locking up the iron that's already in the soil. Now, to do that, you could go out and get you some pH test kits. And they're basically little vials, and they have little paper strips, and you put a little soil in the vial and you pour in a reactive agent or water. But normally they have little capsules with a reactive agent in it, and then you put a little water in it, you shake them up, you let them sit for a while, and the solution inside turns colors. And then you look at that color against a color bar chart, and it tells you what the pH is. Now, those are really good. My only problem with them has been they only test a very tiny amount of soil with each test. Now, there's another thing you can get, and I'm going to show it to you. You can get one of these. This is a soil tester. It tests for pH, but this one also tests for lighting and how moist the soil is. Now you can get one that's just for pH, or you can get one for moisture or light, or you can get a combination one like this one. Now this is a sun cure, but if you go on Amazon, go to any big box store, they all look pretty much the same. And they're all made in China or Taiwan or someplace like that. Now the pH test is not extremely accurate. So what you're going to need to do is calibrate it. Now there is no knob or anything where you can turn and calibrate it. See, this one says made in China. Right there. What I do, and this is one I bought back in 2018. I've had several of them. Is I get me some of those pH test kits, and I test an area of soil several times with the pH test kit. Then I use my meter, and I compare what the meter says to the results of at least 4 pH tests on that same little area of soil. That way I know if this says it's a 6, but the average of my pH test came out an average of a 5, then I know this is 1 point higher than actual. The same would be true if this said 4 and the pH test kits had an average of 6, it'd be 2 points lower. So you sort of get my drift on what I'm saying by calibrating. By doing actual pH tests on this tiny area, I use those results to quantify this. And at times, I've actually bought one that's been dead on. This one here tends to run 1 point high. But knowing that is the key, especially when you're talking a narrow range of pH, like what these blueberries need. They need between 4 and 5.5. So, I like to keep it around 4.5 to 5. Now, people are going to tell you to lower your soil pH, put oak leaves, pine needles. Well, that's exactly what my mulch is right here, as you can see. It's primarily oak leaves, and then I also vacuum up around the pine trees, and that's added too. I'm going to tell you one thing about oak leaves and pine needles. Initially, they are acidic, but as they degrade and decompose, they're not. That's why they work perfectly well in the garden, and over long term do not increase or maintain a acidic soil pH. Now you can do research on that yourself and find that out, that old Mr. Tom is telling you like it is, because I've done just that. So what's the first thing we're going to do? We're going to go over here to a spot, and we're going to stick our little meter in that we're going to set right here to pH. So we're going to go over here by this little old blueberry. Let me swap up hands. Oh, see, we got a blackberry right there. And we're going to dig through that mulch where you can see it's in all different stages of decay till we get down here to nice soil. And you can see all the blueberry roots right in there. Now that's another thing to remember there. They're shallow too. So now, wipe the hand off on blue jeans. We're gonna insert our pH meter. And we gotta try to find a place where we can get this bad boy on in there ways. Because if you just barely stick it in, it's gonna give you a false reading. Now, okay, now we got it in there. Not as far as I'd like, but I do believe far enough. And we got set on pH, as you can see. Now, the trick here is we got to leave it alone for a bit. And we're going to leave it alone for anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. And then we're going to come back. You can see where it is now. So let's leave it sit for about 10 minutes because we want to make sure it's stabilized. And we'll come back. Now, as you can see, oh, here comes Magoo. You got to check out the action. Have we done right with the meter, Magoo? Oh no, he's gonna play with Cleo. Here comes the mining hunter. Yep. There's Cleo cleaning. Nope. He backs off. Probably a wise move, Magoo. Check out that meter for me while it's stabilizing. Let me know how it's going. I'm gonna run in and get a cold drink, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so as y'all saw, we cleared that mulch back to bare ground, and we've got that pH meter inserted as far as we can. It's about 5 inches. I'd like to get it more, but just for illustration purposes, this will be fine. And we've let it stabilize for about 10 minutes, which that's super important. Let's don't stick it in and say, oh, well, pH is 6, and then move on. No, stick it in there and leave it for about 10 minutes. Now you want to make sure your probes are clean. You want to make sure the soil is moist but not soggy. And if it's not moist, water in the area that you want to test. Let the water drain down. You know, probably wait 10, 20, 30 minutes. And then go back and insert this probe. So, make sure, clean your probes too after every use. And what you're going to have to do in any planting area is test many different areas. That's what, once you know how these are reading against actual pH test results, that's why they come in so handy. You can quickly go all over your planting area, testing random parts of it, and within a short period of time, and at little to no cost. Once you buy the meter, you know the average of the pH in that area, just like we're seeing here. And here is what the problem is. Okay, this is showing a little above a 6 pH. Now, like I say, this one tends to read about 1 point higher, so that's 7. Woo! That's way above where my blueberries need to be, nearly twice. But how can that be? Look at all those oak leaves, and that's in there. You can see some pine needles in there too. Yeah, that's all this mulch is, see? How can that be? Oak leaves are acidic. Pine needles are acidic. Like I say, they are when they're all nice and green and fresh. But as they decompose, they lose that acidity. And then, as much rain as you get, and this is under the eave, you know, water can be both acidic or alkaline. So, this soil is twice as alkaline as it needs to be. And I'll check many other places. But I'm pretty sure that's why my leaves are yellow and my veins are green on these blueberries. See, I confirmed the issue. And I'll take that out. Now, old man, get up. Of course, look at this. Look who's stretched out sleeping beside me while I'm working. And of course, Cleo's still cleaning. Lord, Magoo, come on. We gotta talk about what we gotta do to fix these blueberries. Oh, so what are we gonna do? And you might be able to hear thunder out in the distance. So at any point, even though it's sunny here, we may have to shut down the video. So, what are we going to do? Well, even though we always mulch with acidic oak leaves and pine needles, just ain't getting the job done. Now, last year, this was right at a 4.5. And that's another thing I want you to understand about soil pH, as well as soil fertility. That can change fairly fast. Yep, especially when you got this nice sandy loam soil that you know I have. And it's beautiful soil. Drains very well, full of organic matter, as you saw. But even it has drawbacks. Now, I know many on YouTube will tell you that just ain't so. Well, I'm here to tell you it is. So what are we going to do for the problem? Well, we got to get that soil acidity in the range we need it at. So there's a couple ways you can go about this. You can go out there and buy you some elemental sulfur or sulfur powder. That's one way. Now, commercial growers, they'll use aluminum sulfate. I'm not a big fan of that, putting aluminum sulfate in my soil. And something I'll say about that, folks, there's actually aluminum to some extent in all soils, but I'm not going to add on to it because aluminum has health issues relating to it that I'm totally in agreement with. But what I use is right here. And this is this Poma organic soil acidifier. And it says here turns hydrangeas blue, which, in case you're one of those ladies that loves the hydrangeas, then this will be good information for you as well. So, right, like it says, for organic gardening, lower soil pH, and that, safer than aluminum sulfate for blueberries and hydrangeas. This is a soil acidifier. That's all it does. But the reason I told you about the sulfur, because a lot of times you can pick up sulfur at your feed store or co-op or even in big box stores or Amazon. And you can use that. But see, this has got, just what it says, sulfur, 30%. 18% free sulfur, 12% combined sulfur, right there. And you need 12 pounds per 100 square foot of planting area, or about a cup and a half per plant. Now what I'll be doing is I'll be taking my old tape measure, because I done forgot how long and how wide this blueberry bed is. I'll do that math. They'll tell me how many pounds. This is a 6-pound bag. I got another bag. I'm sure 12 pounds will get it. I'll rake back my mulch again, which I should have done all this testing before I fertilized in the first place, but I didn't. My bad. So I'll rake it all back against the house again. I'll spread out the soil acidifier. I'll rake back all the mulch, fluff it all back up, and I'll come back in a couple of weeks and retest. Should be fine, but I don't want to should be fine. I want to know. So, here's another project. And all of y'all that follow the channel want to know what old Mr. Tom does during the day. He does things like this all during the day. And it just chews up time, and I just can't do a video on every last one of them. Because see, it's going to take some time for me to get this whole area raked back again, spread it out, and recover it, fluff it back up. And of course I'll do some weeding while I'm doing that. And maybe when we do this, probably tomorrow, Monday, Magoo and Cleo there will be rested up. Right now, I think they're pretty much done in for the afternoon. Ain't that cute? They're head to head. Look at that. I don't know if y'all can see that. You see that? They're just laying head to head. Now, if that ain't the cutest thing you've ever seen, I don't know what is. But we're going to go ahead to the next area and plant and talk a little bit about it too. So, let's take a walk. And the kitties may follow. Because normally they follow and then they just throw down and crash somewhere close to me. Now, the figs. Whew, and I'm glad I got them all fertilized. Because they love that rain we got last night. Over here at the poles where we put in the rattlesnake pole beans. Oh yeah, we have bean sign. Did you see that right here? Right here. Yep, there's one right there. Popping up. So, we'll have beans soon. Of course, that means I got to put out the slug beer plates tonight. Get the slugs drunk. So, well, it is Memorial Day weekend, so they can party tonight. Well, the squash hasn't come up yet. Now, like I told you, those seeds were old. The zucchini was at least 8 years old. And the yellow crookneck from Perry Morris was 10. It was just an experiment. See how old the seed was and if it was still viable. But I haven't given up quite yet. And I do got new seeds, so no worries there, right? But we do got some popping. Some that I'm really proud of. Woo, Lordy. Right here. Now these were my seeds if you watched the video where I talked about it. These are what I call my dinosaur cucumbers that I raised back in 2018 that grew all season long. And I'll guarantee you those vines went up 15-20 feet in the air all the way back down to the driveway. You can check out some of my walkabouts back in September, October of 2018 and you can see them. So I am really loving that this seed I saved from 2018 has come up because I didn't have much. I only had like 16 seeds. So I'm loving that. Hopefully these will be true to how they were in 2018. And I'll have so many cucumbers, I won't know what to do with them all again. Because right here I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plants. And all I had in 2018 was 3. And Lord, like I told y'all, I ate cucumbers every which way imaginable, and I even made some up. Because I bet you never had a fried cucumber, have you? And then we have okra sign. Yep, these started popping yesterday. And I was going to video, but time got away from me. And these here again are my own saved seed from 2018, 2019 season. I think these were 2018. Okra's so easy to save. I actually got that on video from back in 2018. I think I videoed it. And some of you may have watched some of my old gardening videos. But these are coming up. And this is Clemson spineless okra. And it's always a reliable producer. I don't care where you live. I've seen people raise it in Pennsylvania, New York, all the way down to Key West. From the east coast to the west. And it's an heirloom. So no problems there. And my 2 Cassandra cucumbers, they're coming along fine, looking good. They're gonna have to go in the ground because starting to get their second leaf. They're just looking beautiful. And most of y'all know these two 10 pocket fiber packs are where I plant some more rattlesnake pole beans, because they'll be going out on the south side of the house driveway bed. And if you look really close right there, look really close, you can see one starting to come up. Here again, that's my saved seed. That's why it's so important. You're saving those seeds. Yep. And our volunteer tomatoes that we got out of the magic worm box. You see right there? They got the first true leaf coming out in the middle. Now there's no way of telling what these are going to turn out to be. This is one of the fun things about gardening. You don't got to plant everything to know what it is. Sometimes you can plant something just to see and be happy. And that's what this is all about. Now I do know these came from natural organic tomatoes that a viewer had a taxi driver buy for me over at Super Foods, or it may have been Walmart, but it said right on the little packages they came in, all natural and organic. So at least they're that. And we'll see just how they do. So we're going to be planting some of these somewhere. I need to figure out where. Of course, it ain't like I've got a lack of land. So, they're looking good. Now we're going to go up here to the old clothesline pole plant where we were looking really great, and then we had some issues. That's why I wanted to do a garden video today. Talk about the issue. Yep, you can see it's all netted off now. Why is that? Well, the beans were looking really beautiful. Yep, peppers, everything was looking nice. And I really didn't want to put a net up. Now, look at this side. You got several of them running up the poles. Leaves are all nice green. You know, if you can see through that netting. And we can go over it. It's only about chest high. See? Now, it might not look as green to you because of the sun. And you can see they're running up the poles, heading for the sky. But what happened? Why don't Mr. Tom have to spend time to straighten out some deer net, cut it to size, drive in some poles, and get it all attached. Plus, since I don't want to open this all the time, because I was watering manually with a watering can, conserve water, I knew I didn't want to do that every day. Now that I got it netted, take it down. So I had to set up a soaker hose. Now that'll make it convenient, but I tend to forget when I'm out working about, turn it on. When I remember it, it's been running twice as long as it needs to. Of course, you all know how proud my little town is of water and sewer. So we had to get that done yesterday. And I'll show you why. Come over here to the north side. Ooh, look at that. They're just running everywhere. Yep. Of course, when I work on this one, he snuck over and got his neighbor's pole. When the sun gets off him, I'll tease him off of there, stick him on his own pole. But his neighbor doesn't need his pole right now, and I'm going to show you why. See right there? Now that was a bushy plant, the last garden walkabout I did. Now it's all bit off. See that one there? See this one? End's all bit off. Here's some more. Well, those of you who've been with the channel for a long time know how much the deer just love my beans. Yes, they do. They're tasty. And I'll tell you a secret. You can eat bean leaves. I munch on them occasionally. Now, if this happens to you, don't panic. Now, I'm going to show you something, just so you know, in case it happens to you. And I'm sorry that my shadow is going to be in here, but it's just the way the sun is, and you got a video when you can video. Now, you see, he ate it right off. Now, if he would have ate it all right off to the center stem, it'd be done. But don't panic. Because see, right here in this leaf axil, I don't know if you can see it, but right there, that's a new leaf. I want you to look right here. Seeing those leaf axils? Right here, right here, right here. That's new growth. And that's happening on every one that was chomped on and browsed down. Those will come back out, they'll revine, and they'll just head it on up the poles. Now you might be saying, well, why didn't you just keep going last year? I did, and they'd revine. The deer would wait long enough for them to get leaves on them, then the deer would come munch on them again. It was never ending. Even with putting up 7-foot high deer net, they just broke through it. Which is where I got this deer net. This is the remnants from the 2 7-foot high deer netting fences I'd put up last year. So, maybe this will be enough to keep them off it. Who knows? But now, they got soaker hose. And the only thing we got left to do is in here is place some cardboard down and mulch it out, which we'll still do, even though we'll have to take the netting down for part of the day. And I would have liked to have got the cardboard down and got it mulched out before I put up the net, but I had to get things done just yesterday, and this was one of my last projects before the day got really long. And we'll talk some more about that towards the end of the video, because at the end of this video I'm going to share some reel. And so then we're going to come on over to check out potatoes. And when I put this in, my seed potatoes were old. I didn't know if all of them come up or not, and apparently some have not, but some have. I got one there, and I've been looking. Good thing I'm not going to starve to death and need potatoes. And I've got a couple here and some fine ones there. Now I'm going to tell you about healthy soil and compost and that mycorrhizal fungi that I showed y'all when I raked this off and dug it. It was living in the dirt I took off. Look at that mushroom right there. Now there were several more all the way down the side of this trench. Something come by, there was a nice big one right here, and they ate it. Now, that being said, just because some animal can eat mushroom does not mean go out and grab you one and eat it. Don't do it. Yep, maybe it's edible for humans. Maybe not. I'd never take a chance unless I did some heavy research, because one wrong bite of a mushroom, it will kill you. If it don't kill you, it'll make you so sick you'll never eat another mushroom in your life. Trust me that. So, we've had a little more digging over here. I'm not sure who's doing the digging, whether it's a squirrel, because they do, or an armadillo. But one thing I'm sure of, it's not Ophelia, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the video. But you can see right here, beans are starting to come. Yes, ma'am. Of course, there's one that got dug up. So I'm wondering what's doing that. Of course, we're just going to sort of Cover him back up. Maybe he'll grow. And I'll come back and wet that soil. Because, see, even though it rained really nice last night, top of the soil's nice and dry, but it's still good and moist underneath. And when this all gets up, it too will be mulched down. So this will stay moist during the heat of the day. Keep sun on it. Cut down on that evaporation. And so we got beans coming up here. Those are the burpee garden beans. Got some more coming up there. So we got bean sign here too. You know, the slugs, let them alone. The birds, armadillos, you know, all the other things that can eat them. Well, let's go over and check the Waltham butternut squash. Oh me. No sign of it either. But they tend to take a lot longer than beans. We just keep waiting. Little old raised bed. Yeah, I know it looks a little, you know, chaos here because of letting all those radishes pods dry. But we've been enjoying the carrots, as you saw last night in my super quick chicken soup I made. Those were my carrots, baby carrots. Ooh, that soup was yummy. Oh, I needed it. Now, I'll tell you the truth. When I came in last night, and of course Trixie was wanting to be fed. You know how she loves poultry. Chicken, turkey, pheasant, quail. Basically anything that flies. She was moaning and groaning there in front of the kitchen sink. So I got out some of her favorite, which is why I actually came across this canned chicken that I get now. It's all dark meat. It was for her. And then one time I tried it. Ooh, it is flavorful. Because we all know flavor's in the dark meat, folks. And if you're going to do soups and stews, I use dark meat. I don't mean I don't use some white meat, but I know the flavor's in the dark meat. So anyway, that's how I found out it was some yummy stuff. And that's how the soup started last night. Yeah, I had some radishes I brought in, some carrots. But I was tired. So you know what I was going to do? Yep, I was going to be lazy. And get out Campbell's. Sure did. And I actually did get out a can of Campbell's chicken and noodle. One of my favorites. But then I opened that can and gave part of it to Trixie, which she just loves it. And that, and I thought, I can make some chicken soup real quick. Won't take but about 40-50 minutes. Might as well. I got everything right here. And that's what I did. And that's how the soup came to be. Wasn't magic. So you can see how the green onions are still greening right up. Of course, they loved that rain last night too. Woo! Oregano's loving it. And I gotta be drying me some of this. The thyme is loving it. Yep. Whew. And I'm gonna tell you something. The thyme I used in that chicken soup last night came right off of this little thyme plant right here. Sure did. Came out in the darkness of the night, pinched me off a few sprigs and carried it right on in there and dropped it in the pot. Now I didn't put it in at the beginning. I'll wait until the last 20 minutes cooking when I throw in the taters and the rice. Then I do my final seasoning, and I give it a taste, add any salt, ground black pepper. That's when I drop in the basil, the thyme, and something I forgot to add in the post last night. That had minced garlic in it too. About 4 cloves. I don't know how I forgot that in the description. But I'm glad all of you who commented enjoying seeing what the old man threw together, and was enjoying in the late night hours as I reviewed comments and continued my quest to catch up on emails. So we'll go down here, and still haven't got that stump burnt, but tomorrow Memorial Day, a very special day for me, and that'll come out tomorrow's video, why and its impact and effects on old Mr. Tom and that. But on Memorial Day, or Memorial Day evening I might say, I always have a bonfire, so that's why I decided to wait. I'm going to get out the old electric chainsaw, come over here to this burn pile. I'm going to cut me up a bunch of 1.5 foot sections, build me up a nice bonfire here. This is where Mr. Tom and the kitty crew, maybe even Tricks, will be sitting Memorial Day evening right here. And we'll stare at that fire till it burns down to glowing embers into ash. I've been spending my Memorial Day evenings that way for a very long time. In fact, this used to be a weekend where me, James, and Ashley, and Chris, if she wanted to come. She wasn't big on camping. And then, as Ashley got older, she wasn't too big on it either. But me and James, until he went off to war, that'd be one weekend we'd always go. And we would remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, all they could give for all of us so we could live free. But more about that tomorrow. So I got to get that done tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be pretty much a day. Now I still got some chores I got to do. But it's going to be more of a day of remembrance, thought, pondering, and reflection. It always is for me. So, as you can see, that elderberry is coming along. Ooh. Some of the fronds finishing up blooming. Got the little elderberries forming up. And this smell is enticing. But it's been playing havoc on old Mr. Tom's allergies. But I'll suffer for the beauty and the bounty of this huge elderberry. I got others on the property, but they're small and they're not in bloom. So, finish up this old garden walkabout over at the old tire planters. See the radishes? They jamming. Yeah, and they loved that rain last night too. And like you saw, yes sir, I had radishes in my chicken soup. And I might add, cooked, whether you steam them, boil them, or roast them. Cooked radishes, they're good. Now when you put them in a super stew like I did last night, you want to put them in when you put your carrots in. Now I don't dump everything in the pot all at one time when I make soups or stews, because each thing takes different cooking times. You know, it's just like if you dump the carrots, the radishes, potatoes, and onions all in at the same time. Well, the carrots may be just right. The radishes may be just right. The potatoes will be mush. The onions will just be dissolving. So I drop things in, knowing how long each one takes, so they're still have a little bit of bite. Not crunchy, but I don't want them all falling apart to mush. Yeah, it's just the way I do it. So tonight, what we're going to do, we're going to pull some more of these radishes. And we'll be eating them. You see all these greens. See, I don't get totally upset if some of my radishes don't make roots, because I've always promoted eating your radish greens. Now, I don't mind. In fact, if you look at it, I get way more greens to eat than I get root. So I'm happy with the greens. But I'm going to be pulling these because I got to come out here today, even though I've been eating this lettuce, munching some of it each day. As you can see, it's sort of blown up, and now it's starting to shade out and encroach my salad bowl, which was smaller because I had to replant. So I got to come out here with a bowl a little bit later in the evening and snip me off a bunch of these leaves, pull me some radishes, probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 with roots, and I'll slice up those radishes, and then I'll cut up the greens, as I will chop up the lettuce, and that'll be the base of my dinner salad tonight, because that's what I'm going to be having tonight. And that's something you got to realize when you're gardening. You need to eat the fresh while you can. Any excess, if it can be canned or frozen or dehydrated, do it. But with lettuce, I've tried freezing it. It just becomes a mess. Now, something you can do with lettuce is you can dehydrate it and put in jars, and throughout, the fall, winter months, early spring, add it back to everything from soups to stews, casserole, whatever you want. Just sprinkle some in, or you can sprinkle it on top of your salads. We'll dump it in a yogurt smoothie. But that's one way to save a great abundance of lettuce, still get some value out of it. Don't take much but time, a little bit of electricity. Just thought I'd throw that one in there for y'all. Now we're going to come over and look at my tomatoes. We're going to chat a little bit about them too. Now, one more thing before we leave lettuce. You're going to see how it's getting long. It's getting a little hot for lettuce here in the deep south. We're currently 89. So pretty soon this is going to shoot on up. The lettuce is going to turn rather bitter. Right now it's not. And it's going to go to seed. Yep. And we may let it go to seed, except I want to use this for something else too, so I got to make a decision. But if I let it go to seed, I'll collect the seed. If not, I'll just roll with the seed I got, because in all honesty, I got a lot of lettuce seed. And as you saw in the last blessing video, I got sent some more lettuce seed. Some Boston bibs. So hey, you're looking good on the lettuce. And here's the tomatoes. And something to note, because some people screamed with me when I picked off the blooms when I first set them in. Well, as you can see now, there's a cluster right there, already formed back. Now I'm going to leave it on there, and anything else that stays on there. There's actually another small cluster forming right here. So that one's got 2 on it. Woo, look how green. I'm loving it. Those Atkinson heirlooms are looking fine now. Pretty compact plant. So I'm digging on that too. The less I have to trellis, the better off I am. And this one, same size. Now it's got a cluster of right here, and got one left down there. Now something I'm going to tell you about tomatoes. And you can look this up too. Now my daddy, my granddaddy, my great-granddaddy, they all called it tickling your tomatoes. Now, bees will pollinate your tomatoes, but you want to know a secret Ain't necessary. Because tomatoes are self-pollinating. But if you want to encourage more tomatoes, you know what you do? Take this little tickler right here, you know, the one that you tickle the love of your life, or maybe use all of them. And you go over there and you just tap on that blossom real lightly but vigorously. Or you can take the whole plant. This is the way commercial growers do it. The way I did it when I had thousands of them. And we just shake them. We'd shake the whole central stem. What that does, that loosens the pollen and fertilizes the flower, and there you go. Now, when's the best time to do that? Not now. First thing in the morning. Preferably before 8. Yep. If you can. If not, do it at night before you go to bed. Now that's a super secret tip. Just from Mr. Tom, okay? Of course, you see, we got this planting all starting to mulch out. Ran a little shy of it. Of course, that's something else we've been doing. Well, we haven't been videoing. Mulching, mowing, weed whacking, putting up fences, and something else that we'll share at the end of the video. Now here's the beef master. Whew. Now I'm going to try to get down here on the ground, okay, and get you a perspective shot. So you can see the Atkinson in the background, the beef master here in the foreground, and you can definitely see now how much taller that beef master is than the Atkinson. It's nearly twice as tall. So these are going to be some tall plants. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but Monday I got to be driving in the poles because these beef masters definitely need staked right now. But we ain't going to do that right now, and we ain't going to do it tomorrow. We'll do it Tuesday. I said Monday, but I meant Tuesday, because Monday we all know is Memorial Day. But now, these didn't have any blossoms. I remember they may have had one or two, and I pinched them off to get them to concentrate on developing their roots and growing. But you can see right there, there's a cluster. There's another cluster right here. Yep. Another one right here. That's 3. Now this is the tallest of the beef master. This one's coming in right behind it. Crawling on the ground, so bear with me on the camera. But you can look up under there. There's a cluster with its first blossom. There's another one right in there. There's probably a third one over there. So when everybody screamed with me, ah, when I pinched those blossoms off, when we first set them, as you can see, no worries. And you see how good the plants look. And those of you who've been following along, you know they ain't been in the ground all that long. What, this is the second week now maybe? I'd have to look back at my own videos. Or check that thing I call Garden Journal that I tell y'all to keep. Write down what you're doing every day. Yeah, I know it takes time. And I missed putting in my entries. But then, normally I can go back, watch one of these garden walkabouts, and fill in the blanks. So there's a plus having a YouTube channel, right? So there we are on the tomatoes. Looking good. Now something we did yesterday that I'm not going to repeat today is it was Friday. I mixed up some fish emulsion, Alaska fish emulsion, in my sprayer, 2-gallon sprayer, 1 tablespoon per gallon, and I came out and did a foliar spray. And what I mean by that I spray the mixed up fish emulsion on all the leaves till it just starts to run off. And I do this after the sun is set low enough so that each planting is going to be shaded for the remainder of the day. Very important. Or at least I think so. I do all my spraying in the very morning before the sun comes up over the tree line, or I spray after the sun is fell below the tree line. It's just what my great granddaddy said do, my grandfather and my daddy. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Certain chemicals, whether organic or synthetic, can burn a plant if they're done sprayed and then the sun shines on them. Yep, it can happen. And then you're going to be very sad. You're going to be one of these, like I've seen so many times on other gardening channels. Well, we did what you said. We sprayed our plants. And they all yellowed, got brown, and died. Sometimes timing is everything, folks. So that's the story on the tomatoes for now. Now, since it did rain, a gully washer last night, and it did rain, a nice light rain Saturday night, I will probably on Tuesday give these another quick foliar spray that will have fish in it, but it will also have two other ingredients. And I'll probably go ahead and do a video on it because it's extremely important. But, and this is something I was discussing with Southern Boy Prepper down in Louisiana. We were talking fish emulsion and spraying and nitrogen and all that last night on the comments of one of his videos. And you know what? I owe Regan, Southern Boy Prepper, an email, because that's something I'll be showing. His family was so generous too and sent me a wonderful care package, me and the kiddies. And I'll be sharing that on the next blessing video as well. Oh, so what do I mean by a sprayer? Well, I mean one of these little handy dandy things. This is 2 gallon. You can get them 5 gallon like this. I would recommend if you go above 2 gallons, you get one that is a backpack sprayer. Because lugging around 5 gallons at I think it's 7.35 or is it 7.57? I don't remember. It's over 7 pounds per gallon. Lugging around 38 pounds of water and spray with one hand, one arm. That's all, folks. That puts a strain. A lot of times I don't like toting this 2 gallon around, especially when I got to mix up several sprayers full once the season gets on the ways and there's a whole lot of leaves on everything. Right now it's fairly easy. By the time I mix it and spray everything, you know, we ain't talking 20 minutes. Later on in the growing season, you'll see, once all the beans get leafed out, cucumbers, tomatoes are all big and bushy, 5 foot high or more. Oh, then you go on probably talk an hour or two, and especially with the abundance of stuff that we'll be putting in. And even that said, it won't be nothing like what many of y'all are putting in, like my good friend Les, you know, over there at his channel, Do It Yourself Raised Bed in East Texas. And of course, nothing like Regan down there in Southern Boy Prepper. He got 4 different gardens. All 4. A way larger if I grouped up everything I do here. But anyway, you get you a sprayer. It can be a half a gallon, a gallon, 2 gallons, or 5, depending on what you want to lug around and what you can afford. And this screws out. You pour your whatever you want to spray, whether it's fish, kelp, your own compost tea, whatever. Add the appropriate amount of water and shake, shake, shake. Then this comes up, pump, 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 pump. Here's your wand. You can set the spray pattern out there on the end, and you go to it. A little practice, anybody can do this, folks. Lord, if I can. And what I use, and what I found over the years to be the best, and that's this, like I've told you. This is Alaska fish fertilizer. Yep, and you can use it as a soil drench too. What I mean by that, you mix up 1 tablespoon, I think it is, per gallon. Let me see over here. Oh, let's see. Well, that's what I thought. 2 tablespoons per gallon. I was wrong. And where I get confused on that, I actually only use 1 tablespoon per gallon when I do my foliar sprays. You know, like I was telling you, spray all the leaves. But it won't burn. You can use 2, but they tend to get really green. Gotta be a little careful. And why I use it more as a foliar spray than as a soil drench is because this stuff don't come cheap. Now I wait till the end of the season and then I pick it up on clearance. Like this, I think I got these for $9.95 a gallon when we're normally 19 something, $19.99 gallon. But Lord, up on Amazon now, these are anywhere from $39 to $69 a gallon. But if you're using it and spraying it as a foliar spray, I still think it's worth every penny, but that's up to y'all. And you can get seaweed too, kelp, whatever you want to use. It's what I use. And that. But I'll mix that up, 1 tablespoon per gallon. And I try to spray it at least once a week. And normally, I spray it on Fridays. And why? Well, my wife was Catholic, bless her heart. And Catholics don't eat meat on Friday, and that. But they will eat fish. So it was just my way of reminding me that Friday was time to spray the fish. Yeah, don't beat me up about all that, but just my way of remembering. I love Catholics. I married one. Of course, I also married a Baptist one time. So, like all of y'all know, I'm not religion specific. You be whatever you want to be and be happy, as long as it harms none. Right, Cleo? Yep. Cleo says, that's right, Papa. Is Magoo still asleep? He is. That lazy guy. Yeah, leave it up to Papa and the lady to get her done. Y'all remember that little volunteer we got? Planted up in our own little plant soil mix. She's hanging in there looking fine. It's looking good, ain't it? Cleo. My little queen of the yard. Got a queen of the yard and a queen of the house. Just don't let the two get together. So, next week, I'll be showing you how I mix up my fish. And this time of season, I also put in 2 other ingredients. Both are organic. Well, it works marvelous. In fact, if I'd remembered it last year, probably wouldn't have had the deer chomping on everything so often. Like I say, getting old. Right, Cleo? Come on, Cleo. Let's get some water. Sit on the front porch. Talk to the folks. Come on, baby. Uh-oh. Get out of here. Go on, bud. Pitbull, he belongs down the street. Now, he ain't nothing but a lovable baby. But he don't need to be up here eating the kitty food. He's got a home. Now, he ain't a vicious one. And overall, I don't mind. But I've already taking care of 4 cats. I can't take care of that neighbor's dog too. And I love dogs to death. So y'all gonna sit right in Papa's in between his feet and lap. Yeah. And that big doggy was here, Daddy. You can see they're watching. They're watching him as he walks back down to his house. I didn't hear no aggression though. Never have. He's a lovable pup. I petted him too. I'm sure he's hungry. And I'll tell you a secret. When I go in for the day, just like he did last night, if he's hungry, he'll come up and finish the kitty food too. That's okay. Well, there you are, Elrod. Glad you could make it this afternoon too. I knew you'd be by. You come by for your little bit of loving and afternoon snack, huh? Oh, you gonna give me some lickings and some love nibbles too? Yeah, you Papa's boy too, ain't you? You know what? You're just a faithful member of the kitty crew too. You're sort of like 3 musketeers, aren't you? I just thought about that. Are you the kitty musketeers? Take from the rich, give to the poor. Well, if you are, then you're doing the right thing. I love you too there, Elrod. Go over there and get you a snack, okay? I gotta talk to the peoples. Such a love bug. Yes, you are. Well, I've been getting my loving all day, Papa. Oh, love giving love nibbles, don't you? So, yep, even old Elrod made it today. I had no doubt. So there you have it, y'all. Now I said I'd also, toward the end of this video, share with you some of my real. And, you know, this is real life. And y'all see a part of it. Not all of it. And I wish I could show you something every day. Elrod's wanting to play. And I will, once we finish our chat. So, what was the reel? Well, over the past week, there's been a lot of reel around here. And I don't go through it all. Because, you know, I don't want videos being a pity party for Mr. Tom. I don't. I got it. But y'all know the problems I've been having. And I thought I had the lowdown on the causes and reasons. And I do. But there was so much more. And y'all may have missed it. But here again, there's been a big change here on the home place. I'll see in the comments how many of you noticed it. And then we'll go into that on another video. But yesterday I had to spend some time. And I thought it was only going to be 15-20 minutes, maybe 30. But it was about the kitty crew. Now those of you who've been with me for some time now, or a long time from the beginning, you'll know the kitty crew, I don't personally own them. They just showed up one day. Well, I need to rectify that. Now I was wrong with who I thought was their owners. And even I can be wrong. But that was part of what I did yesterday, because I got some news. And unfortunately you won't be seeing Ophelia the possum anymore. That saddens me. Here again, that's why I try to educate and inform people, so they don't make decisions sometimes that aren't based on facts. But I don't blame people. A lot of people do things not based on facts, or they just don't know. They don't mean no harm, but it just happens. And that's the case with Ophelia. She'd wandered off on someone else's property that has some dogs, and she was at the fence. Dogs were on the other side, and if you look this up and do your research, you'll know that possums' defense mechanism, the very first one is they'll bare all their teeth, and then they start to drool and salivate a lot, and it almost looks like frothing of the mouth, like a rabid animal. That's their first defense response. Most people think because playing possum, first thing possum's going to do is fall over on its side. That's not true. So you got an animal there that looks like they're frothing at the mouth, growling, baring all their teeth. So yeah, I can understand why people think they're rabid. But if you do your research, you'll understand that it's not that possums can't carry rabies. It's just extremely rare. Because of their lower body temperature, the virus just can't survive. So, I did some more research, and from 1983 to 1997, there were only 9 reported cases. It was either 6 or 9 of possums being rabid in the United States. Yep, that's pretty low. See, it's not impossible. But anyway, Ophelia was on someone else's property, and they had the right. And of course, animal control was called in, and Ophelia was trapped and taken away. And that's just life. Now, I don't fault the people for that. They have every right to do that, and I can understand. But that's why I know Ophelia isn't digging holes in garden areas no more. But with that said, I have noticed animal control cruising the neighborhood more often. And I didn't want anything to happen to the kitty crew. So yesterday, I wanted to talk to a few neighbors, see if anybody actually owned the kitty crew. And what I found out was, indeed, no one does. The actual owners lived 2 houses down from me on the same side of the street. And they moved away, oh Lord, many months back. And when they moved, they left the kitty crew. And not only myself has been feeding them, but my neighbors, 2 of them, have also been feeding them and taking care of them too. They've sort of become community cats, even though they hang out here quite often. But I wanted to talk to my neighbors to make sure they didn't feel they owned them, because I'm going to go ahead and do what's right by the kitty crew. I'm going to go ahead and take each one of them in, get them checked, give them a check over, and get their shots and whatever they need. Now, of course, the boys here both need to be fixed. Both, I hope they don't hear this. Both Magoo and Elrod, they need to be taken care of. And get that done. Get the rabies, get everything, get them all fixed up, get them all documented. And as soon as Cleo's done nursing her 2 kittens, which I found out where they were. They're actually over in a neighbor's shed, and I spoke with that neighbor. She's a real nice lady, her and her husband. And they don't mind. In fact, they sort of welcome the cats because keep mice and snakes down. And she even showed me where the kitties were. So now I know where the kitties are. I think they're about 6 weeks old. So they'll be coming out anytime soon. I hear you, Elrod. So during the course of getting this information, talking with neighbors, it wound up taking me 2 to 3 hours, because I did talk in length to both of them. And both of them, fine ladies, fine neighbors. So, starting next week, I got to give the veterinarian service a call, which is Brits. Y'all know that's one I use. Fine service. And see what it's going to take one at a time up there and get them all checked out and get everything they need. And so my self-isolation is going to have to come to an end for a while. Now I'm sure it's going to be just sort of drop them off and go. And understand I will have mask on, eye protection, gloves, and practice social distancing. But I'll check. Maybe you just pull up parking lot. They come out, get the kitty, take them in, do what they got to do, give me a call, a day or 2, whatever, and I go pick them up. So that's what took a lot of time yesterday. And then by the time I got back, and which I didn't leave the neighborhood, I walked, and I kept a fair amount of distance to not infect them, or for me to be infected. You never know. I mean, Mr. Tom could have possibly already gotten the virus and be asymptomatic. You never know. But when I did get back, it was later in the afternoon, I still had chores to do, things I had to get done here in the garden, like that fence. And by the time I realized what time it was, the sun was down below the trees. I needed to finish up, put everything away. There just wasn't no time for a video. That's why I went ahead and took the pictures of my late evening meal of my super quick chicken soup, which was mighty fine, and share it with y'all so you'd know when Mr. Tom was okay. So y'all, sorry this was such a long video. Some of y'all like them, some of you don't. But the reason I left the reel towards the end, and from now on it will be at the end, is because I know those who support the channel are the bedrock of the channel. Follow each video to the end. The bulk of people don't. So I share it with all of y'all. And those who wish to listen and watch, they'll make it to the end. Those who don't won't, and that's fine too. We all got lives. We all got so much time to spend, as you see. Even I have problems with time management. So y'all, till I see you on the next video, like always, every day we need to be praying for essential workers and those who have to work, the families, the loved ones, and those who have suffered through this virus, those who are struggling. Pray for our community, and especially so for those with all the special needs and issues. All of y'all know who they are, and if you have an issue, a problem in your life, and you'll share it in the comments, I'm sure a bunch of us will be praying for you too. I write every name down, and just like last night, I have long conversations with God. Now granted, I don't got no special pull with him. He does what he does, and I trust him. So I got to get on in, but I want y'all to take care out there wherever you may be. Please be safe, and know God will bless you, your families, and loved ones as you bless others. Trust me, he will. So y'all, you can see the wind's coming up, and it's actually raining in the sunshine. I gotta get a couple things put up. Gotta get on in the house. Let me show you this. Oh, goodbye for now. Ooh, I hope the camera's picking up the raindrops falling through the sunshine. Oh, God, guys, I gotta go pick up the meter. Oh, I'm getting so forgetful. Put up the soil to the fire. What were y'all thinking? Okay. There's soil to the fire. Don't need that to get wet. It's pretty pricey. Okay. What in the world did the old man do with the meter? It is beautiful though, isn't it? Gift from God. Thank you, Lord.